Okay, so in the last tutorial what we studied was we created our first Spring application using the Bean Factory Spring container, and today we'll see how it runs and then we'll proceed further. Okay, just one thing, in the last tutorial we created a spring.xml file in the src package, but we need to create this file in our main application only. So I've just moved this file from here, from the src to the Spring application. Clear? Okay, so let's just run it, which is our main file, that is display data. This is my main file, so let's run. Okay, so we are getting one exception. It's very important that you should understand the exception clearly, because then your concepts will become more clear. So just read the exception, what it is showing. It's error creating bean with name manager defined in this file, that is XML file. And what is the error? Could not instantiate this class because there is no default constructor found. Some constructor issue is there. So let's see how we are creating this manager class. We have this and we have a property. Okay, fine. In the manager class, okay, in this manager class what I have defined is a constructor. The same way, when you're creating a Java object and if it couldn't find a constructor, it shows an exception. Same is a concept here. It's expecting a constructor which is being passed an object, but we are not doing that. And you must note one thing, I told you that there are two ways to set a method variable, member variables of a class, not the method variable. That is the constructor and a setter injection. Until now we have just seen the setter injection, which is done using the property tag, So currently, just to remove this exception, I will remove this constructor. Also we can remove the other primitive, because now we are not using it, so just you can remove it. Anything else? No. This is my class, and okay, so now just let's run it. Okay, yes, you could see that I got an output, that is manager address is Chandigarh. So it's working fine with the Spring dependency injection feature also. Why? Because I have set the property as Chandigarh. And if you see in the address class, I have one more member variable, but I haven't set it, so it's not showing me an error. Why? Because it's okay, because we're just calling the set method. So at this point of time I have just called the set city method, I haven't called the set header house number. So that is completely fine if we are not instantiating the we are not initializing the house number member variables. But if you want to do it, definitely you can do it here also. Let's do it so that we are clear that how even integer variables are being set, because this is a city variable, that is the city. Okay, name is not this, name is now, I guess it's house number. You can check it from here, this, because it creates a set also with that same name. So house number, and what's the value? See, if I'll give the value as string, it will show me an error. Though in the Spring XML everything is written in the double quotes, but Spring automatically converts it into the required data type and set the variables, but still it understands that what actually is written in the double quote is an integer or a string. If you just simply try to run it, let me just show you what error it shows so that you're clear. See, it is showing me an error, bean, enlarge it, it's bean creation exception, that is error creating the bean with name manager defined in the file. Why? Because manager is referring to the address bean, so that is not being created. And what is the root cause? Because it is not getting the bean address in this file. And why it is not getting address? Because it is failing to convert the property value of string to the type integer for this, and for the input string Chandigarh. So this is the issue, what actually the root cause is. So in the XML, for integer I need to give some integer value. Say I give it 5689, this is my house number, say. So now if I run it in the display data, I will not get no bean creation exception, I will get the output. So this is how you set the member variables of any class, whether it's a primitive wrapper classes or it's another dependency being set, another dependency of the class. Clear? Okay, and here we just saw, I'll just tell you one more thing over here before we proceed further, that there is no single Spring container. Spring comes with several container implementations, and they are broadly categorized into two parts, that is a bean factory and a application context. If you could see over here, so bean factory is the interface, they both are the interface only, and this is bean factory is the simplest of the containers, the simplest container which is providing the basic support for dependency injection, whereas the application context, it is also defined by Spring framework only and is an interface only. You can say this is a big brother of bean factory because it has the features which bean factory support, along with it support other features also that we'll study in the later tutorials, that it support internationalization, it supports event handling and all this. So it's built on the notion of a bean factory by providing application framework services also, that it has the ability to read the textual messages from the property file and to publish your application events to the event listener. So all those features are present in the application context. So it has some extra features, you can say, which can read your properties from the properties file and everything. So it's possible to work with Spring using either the bean factory or the application context, but bean factory is generally used for low level, you can say it's often too low level for the applications. So mostly we prefer the application context over the bean factory, and in all the coming tutorials I will just work with an application context container. Clear? Okay, so in the next tutorial we study about the application context container and how constructor injection is being